Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're talking about hops. You can see I have a nice array of lovely squishy perfumed hops in here. It is the time now guys to harvest the hops. It generally, as a rule, okay, they're ready between August and October. All depends on the obviously on the nature, how the weather was, and depending on where you are. So for us now, we are literally end of August and they are ready. So you might be wondering how easy it is to grow crops in UK. Well, actually it turns out to be pretty easy. Sometimes I find with the many things that you grow, guys, it's the little attention that they get, the better things do. I know crops are meant to be quite hungry, they need a quite hungry, fertile soil. Sorry, they are hungry, they need a fertile soil, and you do need to prune them. However, the one in the allotment just seem to grow and do pretty well. The only thing is it starts to creep in inside of the little shed, which is like a greenhouse shed, but they are doing superbly well in there. So because they're absolutely ready, I had to pop in, guys, and obviously get the harvest off there so I can actually dry my hops. Second question you might ask, well, how do you know when they are actually ready? Because I appreciate the 2 months window is quite big. Well, first of all, guys, you got to pick them up, okay? Pick a hop and you got to rub it between your hands, okay? And give it a little bit of squeeze. And if it's spongy, then it means it's ready. If it's really hard, that means it's not. Secondly, the smell you get from it, it's really sort of grassy, and plus a little bit of weed smell. I know it's a bit odd, but it is though. But you all know, guys, and it's also get covered in a sticky sap, and that's all the indications that it is ready for you to harvest it. So in many instances, I know people do when they harvest the hops, they actually totally trim down the vine if the vine is quite established. If it's not, and if you have time, you can just go and harvest them by hand, which is not too big of a deal because you're kind of standing there, you're enjoying yourself, you're smelling a lovely aromas, and you know that a lot of brewing is ahead of you. So next thing I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to tell you how I'm going to dry them. So they're now outside the box. And one thing, guys, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, when you harvest them, avoid the ones that started to go brown, especially the ones that do live on the outside. Chances are when they started to go quite brown on the top, they've been scorched by the sun and they have lost a lot of the aroma and a lot of vitamins. So this is what we're looking for, guys. We're looking for perfectly light green hop. Okay, so there's a couple of ways you guys can do that, okay? If you have a dehydrator, you can put them in the dehydrator and dehydrate them slowly, okay? You can also just line them up on the table under the cloth, but it has to be a really well ventilated area. They're a little bit tricky because we don't want the temperature to be any higher than 60 degrees, okay, if you do them in a dehydrator. And at the same time, we cannot leave them drying for any longer than 3 days. It's basically finding this happy medium, because if you leave them for longer, okay, because they are 80% water, so if we leave them for longer to sit outside drying, guys, they will start discoloring and they will start losing all the important things, including flavor. Okay, so it's really important that we control this. So I'm not intending to do this in the dehydrator because I know that my dehydrator will probably dry them off too much, although we're still going to be doing this at 60, so it's no point for me doing that. I know now we have a couple of warm days coming up, so guys, I'm going to be using one of those, okay? This is one of those eras, a herbal eras. Let me get that one opened up. So there we are, guys. This is what I'm going to be using. Okay, this is going to be hanging either in the garage or in utility. If you have a good ventilated greenhouse and you know it's not going to be damp, then I suggest you hang it in there. So all we're going to do, I'm going to position those guys in there. Let's get it open up. It's probably easier to do this, guys, when it's already hanging, okay? Comes with a little hook somewhere. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this done and they're going to show you once they're in there, because it's going to be a little bit awkward on camera. So I do apologize, but I shall see you in 1 second. So hey presto, guys, this is what we have now, okay? I've put them in here, and it's very important to have air circulation, because they will go moldy, they will go manky, they will go horrible. Okay, so what you got to do, guys, once or twice a day, just go there, get your hand in there, give them a shake them up, make sure that they dry evenly. Okay, and it's literally as simple as, it's going to take between 2 and 3 days depending on the temperature, but they will be ready then. You might be wondering why on earth I'm drying them. To be fair, guys, when you do, obviously, if you have hops and if you're brewing your own beer, you can use a wet hops, okay, to do the beer. But because I don't have time to do this right now, guys, and I want to do that sort of further on, I'm choosing to dry them off, okay, or dry them out, shall I say. So this means that, guys, that if you are having them fresh, okay, they have to be brewed within the next couple of days. So as I said, because for me it's not feasible, I wanted to brew the beer when I kind of have time and do this properly, and obviously I need to film that as well. So I'm going to be drying them, okay, and this way then I'm going to store them in an airtight container, which I'm going to show you afterwards, to make sure that I can then brew beer on demand if you wish. So all I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to hang this out there and I shall see you in a couple of days. So 3 days have passed and we are dried out. They smelled amazing, guys. All the time I walk past the utility room, I can smell. It just smells so amazing. Anyway, guys, you all know, okay, when they're done is by simply just picking one up, by tearing it apart. And if it snaps easily without any resistance, that means they are totally dry. As I said, guys, we don't want it to dry any longer than 3 days, and the moisture content that will be left in there should be between 8 and 10%. Again, that will be an average after 2 to 3 days. So, without further ado, guys, I am going to vacuum seal them. So, let me transfer them into the bowl. So, I have a bowl ready. I'm going to put this to the back, okay? One thing to tell you guys, it is a really messy job. Even when they're dry, okay, your fingers are still get covered in sand. And it is literally creates mess everywhere. So, I'm going to show you, okay, how I do that. I've got a vacuum sealer. Okay, I have a vacuum sealer bags. So I'm going to do them in 2 sections, so 2 bags. So I'm just going to cut a piece, okay. So I have one approximately that size. We're going to seal one end first. Okay, seal that. Okay. So the bag has sealed here nicely. All we're going to do is just going to transfer the guys in there. As I said to you, I am going to be doing a brew very soon. For me, it's not going to be a big deal. It's just going to be sitting there for a little while. I'm trying to avoid making a mess. Doesn't work. Use your hands, the better tool. Okay. So in the bag now. So in it goes back in the dryer, in the sealer, right? Because it's a dry product, I have an option here for the dry and moist. They are dry, so all I'm going to do is just to press dry button. Machine basically sucks out the air. And now it's going to seal itself. And that's it. We are done. And this is, guys, what we get from that. You can see there's no air left in there. All our flavor is preserved. Okay, guys, if you're not intending to use this within the next couple of months, the best suggestion is that you freeze that, okay? If you freeze them, they will remain their flavor and aromas for about a year. Because as I said, I'm going to be using them within the next couple of months. They will sit there happily in that vacuum seal in a dark place for all that time. So there we are, guys. Again, you can also use jars. You can vacuum seal a glass jar if you feel necessary. However, this is quite straightforward. You can just shove it somewhere dark in a cupboard, and that's that. Hopefully, guys, okay, you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Otherwise, well, thank you for watching. Maybe subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.